Anyone can write code that works. Professionals write code that survives errors. Today, your program stops crashing. By the end of the video, you will understand what exceptions are, use try and accept properly, handle specific errors safely, use else, and finally correctly write crash resistant program. And if you are serious about writing professional Python code, hit like and subscribe to the channel and comment no crash if you are following the series. So first of all, what is an exception? For example, let's say we try to divide 10 by 0, and if you run this program, you can see it says zero division error, division by zero. So if your user will see this, they might have like some of our user might don't get the idea like what error is this, or they will be like, I don't care about this error, or I don't get it. So for that we will do the exception handling, and this is called exception. This thing is called exception, or you can say an exception is an error that stops your program. So how do we do exception handling? So for that we'll use the try keyword, and we'll say print try 10 divided by 10, sorry, 10 divided by 0, and then accept. It means if anything, like if any error comes, just print this one. First, I am gonna clean it up, and if I run it now, it will say something went wrong. But if I say 2, it's simply gonna print 5 because there will be no error. And if I say -1, -10. But if 0, something went wrong again. Instead of crashing, we will handle it. Now let's talk about handling specific errors. Okay, so for that, what we can do is let's write a exception handling program for this, saying try num int input, enter a number, and print 10 divided by a number, and then accept 0 division error. We are getting a suggestion too. If this error comes, okay, I got into the Python terminal somehow. Then print you can divide by 0. Accept value. Okay, it's showing us the suggestion, and print invalid input now. So this will come when user enters A, B, C, D, or any like special character or alphabet, and this will come. This will get printed if user enters 0. So now let's try running it, and let's first say 2. It will run as normal, and if you say 0, it will say you can divide by 0. And if I say A, invalid input, just as expected. Always handle specific exceptions. Okay, so now let's move ahead and try using else. So first we will okay. Now we will take a variable saying num int input, enter a number, accept value error, print invalid input, and else print you entered comma number. Okay, so now what will happen is if you enter A, B, C, D or any special character, it will print invalid input. And if you enter any number, it will say you entered and the number. For example, let's say this, it will say invalid input. Even if I enter A, it will say invalid input. That's expected. But if I say 90, okay, I by mistake entered a space here. If I say 90, it will say you entered 90, and that's correct. Else runs if there's no error. Now let's learn about the finally keyword, or you can say final statement. So our finally keyword will execute like the condition or whatever you are telling it to do, it will. Okay, so let's discuss about finally now. So first let's write a program on it. And these programs are not like very hard to understand. I hope so that it is easy for you as well. And then accept file not found error, print file not found. Okay, we are still getting errors. Unexpected indentation. Yeah, I use a colon there for no reason. And now we use finally. Execution completed. And always remember, finally always run. So for example, if I run it, it will first say file not found because we are in desktop Python right now. So we are basically in here in this folder. So there is no logs.txt in this Python folder. So if you ls it, you can see uh, two folders here. And in your case, you might be in the PowerShell one. So let's just use the PowerShell one. I'm using PowerShell terminal for this video. Okay, so in this case, if I do ls, it's going to say these two folders only. Okay, so that's why it's saying file not found and execution completed will always be there. Let's just execute it and it will say this only. Okay. So some of you might say that what if we wanna like access it? For that you have to go to the exact location. Mine is cd like program, so I have to do cd program. And now if I run it, it won't say file not found because the file was there this time. I am in this folder and the file was here as same as the program file location. Okay. Now let's write a real world example program which will be safe file reader. Okay. First let's just comment this out. We will use function in this one to make our program easier, and then try with open file name comma r as file, return file dot read lines, accept. Okay, my spelling was wrong. File not found error, print file does not exist, and return a empty list. And now we will call our function. Yeah, not license lines. Yeah. So now if we run it again, going to print the file content. But if I say cd, okay, my bad. Okay, so now if we run it again, now it will say file does not exist and the empty list because it is returning empty list. So why does it happen? Because we are again in Python folder, and in the last terminal we were in the programs folder. So that's why it is printing file does not exist. This is defensive programming. Okay, so now let's talk about some common beginner mistakes. First one is using bare accept only. For example, your program don't have the try block and you are just trying to use accept block directly. This is wrong coding practice and Python won't allow it. It will show you errors. Hiding important errors. Some errors are important in your program, so don't hide them. Overusing try blocks. If you are using like too many times the try block, it's not a very good practice. And handle errors, don't hide problems. Now your program don't panic, they respond. That's professional Python. Thanks for watching.